Hey, Canva fam. This is Bradley of Bradley Teaches. And today we're in our first PM version of the live video graphics workshop. So I'm excited about that. Excited about that. We're going to have us a good time today. And we're going to do some cool things as far as making video graphics and things like that. So let me know if you're in the house here. Let me know that you can hear me okay, that everything is good to go. Let me switch over here to my teaching screen real quick to make sure that one works. Doing a little housekeeping real quick. See what we have here. And of course, things are not turned on. There we go. Have those turned on there. We're good to go with that. All right. So we are good to go. And so far, so good. Okay, so I'm actually multi-streaming this in the Canva channel for the community. I'm also putting this in my personal Facebook group for graphics. So they're getting a sneak peek of this. And I'm putting this on my YouTube channel. So we have it in multiple places now. I'll be able to manage this thing and go in multiple ways. Now, if you guys did not see the AM version of this, which was at 10 a.m. Central Time for me, we had a good time this morning. And we covered some things as far as making video graphics. And I'm going to go back through those things again in case you didn't watch it this morning, or in case you didn't want to watch the replay. We can do it live here now. If you have any video graphics projects you're working on, I'd love to help you out with them. So if you want to add that to the chat or to the comment stream and let me know what you're working on or have any questions about anything, put a Q:, so I know you're asking a question, and I will look that up specifically and try to answer that for you. Okay, so let's see who's here in the house. I have some YouTube folks chiming in. Appreciate that. Let me get my other screen open here and try not to let that cover up this screen. So we have that. You guys are good. Let's go over here to YouTube real quick. Get them on the screen. All right, y'all. So what we are going to do is we're going to go straight into it. And I don't want audio on that. Cool. Okay. So YouTube fam, let me know you're here in the house. Go ahead and chime in. Let me know where you're coming in from so I know everything's working on your end. The Canva community is chiming in, so I dig that. So we are good to go with this. What I'm going to do is similar to what I did this morning. As I said, this is kind of a repeat of the AM version. Just in case you were not here for the AM version, AM for me. Or if you didn't want to watch the replay, we can go back through this live. And if you have your own things you're working on, I can help you with those. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to go ahead and jump into Canva. I'm going to do some basic type things that were asked before because I'm not sure if those people are here now. There was a couple of comment streams that started in the Canva design community where people were asking some different questions about things. So I'm going to answer those questions again here quickly because I don't know which stream they're going to watch. So we're going to run through that real quick, and then we're going to jump in. And if you guys have any custom projects you want me to work on, some things you want me to troubleshoot for you as far as video graphics are concerned, and we kind of left off on a good note with the AM version, we can continue to expand that or kind of backtrack and do a couple of things. But as I said, this is intended to be a rough replay or redo of the earlier version. For the other audiences that may have vastly different time zones than me, I'm jumping on at 9 o'clock p.m. my time, which I know is tomorrow or Thursday a.m. for a lot of the Canva community. So I'm doing it that way for them. All right, so we're going to jump in. Let's see what we have here. Appreciate that, Good Eats. Appreciate it. Cool. Appreciate you kind of jumping back in again with me. Yeah, this is kind of the night owl version for me, right? The AM version was cool, but I'm going to try to keep up the same energy and all that for this PM version too. So if you have some things that you're working on, though, that you kind of explored from this morning's video that you want to revisit or kind of redo some things, definitely let me know. All right, so what we're going to do here now, let's go ahead and jump into Canva. Get over here to my teaching screen. And we're going to start with a generic video, which is right here. I'm going to just do a generic video, and that should come up as a 1920 by 1080 widescreen video. Now, I'm going to answer those quick questions that I had before as it relates to making video edits and adding things to video. Some people were asking about adding elements to videos. They were having problems with that, and I'm trying to figure out exactly why that was, but I'm going to go ahead and go through a few things with that. What you want to make sure you do, though, is actually start your design as a video. Elements, if you add them to anything other than a video, some of the features get lost, and that might be why they asked the question. But you can add elements to a video. You can customize the animation to them and things like that. So let me stop talking about it and show you what I mean. So I'm just going to grab any little video here. Let's grab this video. Just throw that in. Okay, so we have some text here. We have the Build Your Own Dream Home, and it is 3.9 seconds long. I'm going to extend that out, which you can do up until the length of the video that you add. You can extend it up to that point. Now, another way to actually extend the video's length is to slow it down if you want to. You can slow the video down to make it extend also. So all this is just a little generic video. And essentially, text can be an element, but I'm going to add an actual element. And I'm going to add an animated element. So I'm just going to type in the word animated just to find something animated. And I'm going to pick something a little bit different than what I had this morning. Let's throw in the butterfly. Okay, so we have an animated element here. We have a moving video. And I'm going to play through it just so you can see it. So we have the dream home. We have the butterfly. So here's how you edit elements in a video. And so let me go over here and turn on my magic pointer so you guys can see everything I'm doing with my little mouse here. Okay, so what you want to do is click on the element. Then you want to right click on it and go to show timing. This right here, show timing. So I'm going to click that, and now you have actually a animation bar or a timeline specifically for that animation. Whenever you add an element that's animated to anything, it's going to animate for the full length of that video or that thing you added to. But that can be edited. If I right click on that, that's not what I want to right click on. I just want to move it. What I want to do is actually click on the text also. So I'm going to go over here to position, layers, and I'm going to click on, shift click on all the text. And now I see at the bottom a up arrow. Now the arrow will always be up. You don't have to worry about what direction it points. That doesn't really matter. But you'll see an arrow here. I'm going to click that arrow, and now it shows a timeline for all the things that are animated in this video. So now I can go through and select each element like the butterfly, and I'll just say I want the butterfly to pop up close to the end. I'm going to go to build your, I'm going to have it pop in early, and then dream home, I'm going to have it pop in a little bit later. And I'm going to have everything in and let the butterfly flutter on the screen by itself. So as you see here, build your, dream home, everything goes away, then the butterfly flies. That's what's so great about this now, is that you can actually change the timing and duration of all the animated elements that you add to a video. So as I said, I'm not sure what the question was in particular when they said that about how to edit elements on a video, or they couldn't get their elements to work on a video. This is how you do it. So hopefully that answered that question. And if you have any other questions, make sure you use Q:, and your question, so I know what the question is and I can get to it pretty quickly instead of reading all the other comments as we go through. But that's a simple way to add or edit the timeline for elements within your video. So all those things can be edited that way. Now, if it's an animated element like this butterfly, it has its own animation. Now, you can do other animation to it, but the wings are still going to flap for its animation, right? But you can do other things to that to make different things happen. So that's the way that that works. Hopefully that's good for you guys to see. Yeah, that's easy to do because the way that the timeline is set up now is completely different than before. Each element has its individual timeline, and you can actually adjust animations to do different things. So even right here now, and I think I did a little bit of this earlier in the first video, so I don't want to skip it, and it may sound like a repeat for some people. So let me play through this real quick, right? And as you see here, the different elements play themselves in. And if I had other animations on these elements, they would play too. You know, you can actually have things overlap, so I can make Build Your stay on the screen the whole time. So it's no big deal, right? Build Your, Dream Home, everything goes away, then the butterfly flies. So all these things can be done, and it can work that way. Now, here's another cool thing, right? So I'll click on the butterfly, and I can create its own animation, right? So I can draw an animation for the butterfly. Let's have it in right here. Now that's a little rough, and I can change it here. I can say smooth it out, make it a steady pace, change the speed down. I think that's faster. No, that's faster. Okay. Change the speed down, right? And it's a smoother arcing thing now. So you can add all those animated elements in a timeline kind of format. So that's kind of how that goes, right? Now, I'm going to step up the animation portion a little bit more and add something else that we talked about earlier today. So as you see here, we have all these things happening. We have Dream Home pop in. We have the butterfly animating. And let's go back to position here. And we're going to click all the elements again. Right, so now we have that arrow that shows all the parts. What I want to do now is I'm going to have home. Let's just do home for now. Copy, paste. I'm going to line them up exactly with each other. And I'm going to change the color of home. So I'm going to go up here to text, and I'm going to make it green. So make sure we get that alignment perfectly on top, which we have here. All right, and I like that it fades in. And we're going to go to, I'm going to do fade in on that. I think fade will be good for that. So let's go to only on enter. I'm going to go fade only on enter. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make it look like the word home actually changes colors. Okay, somebody said they lost me on Facebook here. Let me see if, let's see if we can refresh Facebook and see what happens. Thank you for letting me know about that. Okay, looks like Facebook looks good now. I just refreshed it. Yeah, and it's not far behind me at all now. Okay, so we're gonna make it animate where it looks like the text actually changes colors. So let's go back now. We're gonna go back to position, and we're gonna click on everything. And the green home is the one that's there the whole time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stretch out the other two things. And I'm going to bring in the faded green home version at the very end. So you'll see here everything fades in, and then home changes colors. See that? And that makes it all work just because we're editing those things on that timeline. So let's click it again, play through it. Build your dream home. The butterfly is going to show up and fly in a second, and then it changes colors. Pretty cool, right? And so think about those things as you work through your animations to create different things like that, because what you want to do is not just have all the things pop on the screen at the same time. Everything does the same thing. Everything goes off at the same time. Use that animate on, animate off, both option. Use the timeline to make things come on at different times. All those are options to help you work through it, right? Okay, so that's that for that thing. Now, earlier today in the other session, someone brought up that they wanted to do a intro animation for their video. Now, I'll bring this up now instead of bringing it up at the end. Canva has a lot of templates, and most are pretty good. I always start off with a blank canvas, but if I ever just really want to see what a template can do, I jump in with my idea in mind already and then see if I can make Canva do what I'm thinking of. Instead of, let me grab a template, change the color of font, and upload it. You don't want all the tails that say this was made in Canva. That somebody can say, oh yeah, this looks like the other 5,000 intros I've seen. All they did was make their background green, right? You want to try to think about what you want, come in with your creative idea, and then see if you can make Canva do that thing. All right. Yes, you can actually, you can even drag and click everything or just shift click everything on the screen. I typically use the position screen because sometimes I do so many layers. I want to make sure everything is clicked. And that's just a habit from that. I know these are just a few things, but a lot of times I have a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes things are under other things that I want to move and stuff like that. So I use a position screen so I can pinpoint what I'm clicking on. But yes, you can definitely act like you're grouping them and then just kind of go through the highlighted ones that you want to do. Now, you actually have to have multiple things clicked on for that pop-up arrow to work. Otherwise, you're only going to be editing that single thing's timeline because that's all you have clicked. All right, so I know earlier we went through and made a intro animation for a organization. So we got some folks here in the room. Go ahead and give me an idea about what you would want your video intro to kind of look like. And let's see if we can make that happen real quick here in Canva. We're going to make a video intro. So let's see if we can think of something to make a video intro out of. And hopefully that answered your question about what you were saying about the elements. If there was something else, let me know and I can actually work on that for you. Okay, so here we go. Oh, got a DM. Okay, we can do that. All right, so he was talking about a sports theme. Let's do kind of a, oh, this made me think about something. Okay, we're going to do that. I found this tech. Now, this is different than what was this morning. Since we have kind of a different audience, I'm going to go with a different thing. And people can watch both of the replays, right? So you can have a little Easter egg in this one. So let's do, let's pick out a sport. We can do soccer or track and field. Let's go to videos. Because this will actually work pretty cool. Let's see if we can do, yes, this is live. We are live right now. So let's see. I want to do something that has some good movement in it where people are doing some things because I really want it to look, there's some kids kicking a soccer ball. We can do one about kids sports. Let's see what this is. Let's do this one. All right. Oh, golf. Okay, let's do golf. All right, let's look up golf. Golf is probably not going to show that much action, but it should be good. Let's see. I want to have a good video because the idea I have in my mind. Okay, let's do this one. All right, so this is the main video here. And then we're going to, let's go to elements, and we're going to go to letter frames. All right. Those are the cheesy letters. I want some other letters. Go to G frame. Oh, that might be why. Let's go to letter. Where'd all the letters go? Oh, they're not loading. Go to alphabet frame. I'm not getting the letters that I want. That is so weird. Oh, well. It's not doing what I wanted to do. All right, let's see. Let's try. I don't know why it's not working. I'm not getting the letters that I want. And these are not frames. So we can do this another way. Let's go back to home real quick. And we're going to pull up, I don't even know if I have letter frames that I've made myself. Let's scroll down here. See, this is live video, y'all. This is what happens when you go live. I'm going to see if I have some letter frames that I made myself. I have Greek alphabet. That's not fun. What happened to all the letter frames? Okay, well, I got different kinds of letter frames. I don't really have... Let's try this. There we go. Rough letters. Let's do this one. So these are frames I made. So we're going to use the G. Okay, we got them. All right, so we're going to go here. We go Shift. Copy those. Go back here. Paste them on. GOL. You gotta get the O off of here. All right, go here, paste. All right, so I'm gonna use my own frame letters. Sorry about that, man. I couldn't. We're gonna do golf. All right, so let's do this. G. GOLF. All right, so we have golf. All right. Now these wouldn't be the letters that I would use in particular, but that's kind of where we are right now. All right, there we go. GOLF, and I'm gonna center this. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually copy this video, copy, paste. I'm gonna put it inside of each letter. Paste, paste. All right, copy and put inside of each letter. Then I'm gonna go here to the main golf screen. I'm gonna size it up to the full screen. And I'm gonna change the transparency on it. So it's kind of darkened in the back. All right, then I'm gonna go here to each letter and I'm gonna resize the golf video to fill the same space that the main video fills. And I'm gonna do that for each of the letters. So this is how this works in real time, y'all. So each letter will have the same video in it enlarged to fill the screen. So essentially, it's going to look like the word golf is filling up all the letters with one video. But because these are all separate frames, they have to be filled separately, right? All right, so the purpose of this, now you see how the background here is kind of faded and darker. So now when I play this, it looks like the video is playing through, but in that main part where the letters are, it's highlighted. And so now, oh yeah, I could have used Greek letters and do that. So now you're playing through the whole thing, right? And you can actually see, it looks like the letters are highlighting the video. Now we can add other text and do all those other things to it. And this could be a great intro for your video, right? Or for your series of videos. So we're going to call this Golf Digest. So I'm going to go back over here to text, go to add. We're going to go, and I think that's actually a real magazine. So we're going to make this. I tend not to use script fonts unless they're really big, right? Because you want the text to be legible. So now you can even animate this and have it come on screen and do something like that. That's pretty cool. And just like before, we can click it, right click on it, go to show timing, and we can decide when we want that to show up. So even, it depends on when the video does it, but so you could play the video through, and when the ball gets close to falling in the hole, the word digest shows up, right? And then you can fade out at the end and go into your video. So there we go. We got golf. You can have your background intro music playing, which I don't want to add because then I don't want to get a copyright hit on my live video. So I want to add the audio. And then we got Golf Digest, right? And so that's even better. Digest shows up and then the ball goes in a hole behind it. So happy mistake. So yeah, so that's some different things you can do. That's a different kind of intro animation using just everything inside of Canva, using frames. I don't know why the text frames didn't work. Maybe they moved something recently. But you can create your own frames. I make my own frames, like these letters here. I make my own frames of all kinds of stuff. So I use those in my design to do different things like that. So pretty cool, right? And so that's a video intro. Easy to do, using different little features. And in this case, I had a large video, put it in the background, and I faded it because I wanted it to look like the text was highlighting it. So I can even go back here. See here, that's the full video. And as you see, it lines up perfectly because now it looks like the letters disappeared. But I want to fade it down to where the action is actually happening inside the letters. And you can do this for anything, right? You can have the name of your business. You can have the name of what they're doing, like soccer, run, golf. You can have dance, whatever, right? Or have the name of your business. Well, this could be a business, right? Or the title of a series of videos. So it's playing, and it looks like the words are highlighting what's going on. Let me know exactly what you mean, Ben. I can understand your question. All right, so That's one way to do an intro. You can also do an intro that has other animated elements in it. All these different things are possible, right? This is very easy to do, something very customized that is not a Canva template. There's no templates that does this. Oh, would you recommend getting a pro license in Canva to do these effects? Now, the frame is just a frame, so that's no big deal. Um, filling a filling a frame with a video is part of the regular Canva. Now, if you want to get Pro Canva, you definitely can. And there's a lot more things available to you when you have Pro. Because as you see here, all these little things have the word Pro next to it, and they're not going to work without Pro. Now, there's nothing I did here that couldn't be done in the basic version of Canva. You have your basic frames. You can fill a frame with anything. Some of the animations may or may not work, like tectonic animation. That's not a pro animation. So that's a basic animation. And you can export as a video in the basic version of Canva. So everything you see here right now can be done in basic. Now the font might not be available for the word digest. Now, like my logo, how can I make one custom like your logo? You mean my personal logo? Or, yeah, give me some more information on that. Or even this bottom bar that's animated under my picture. I can do a semblance of that in Canva. That wasn't made in Canva. But like earlier today, I did show how you can make something similar with Canva, with shapes, adding your things to it and do those kind of things. So it can be done. All right, so we have the basic golf digest. I'm going to click on all that and delete it. That is definitely something that's a very easy intro, something you all can try. Yeah, and I'd love you to get your Canva through me. You don't have to do that, but it's at bradleyteaches.com/Canva. And I think if you get it through me, you get an extended trial period of Pro. So you might want to consider that. It's up to you. I don't advertise that. Like I don't advertise other stuff. I do tell you guys how to get to other things, but I don't sell stuff to y'all. I'll let y'all find that on your own. All right. Yeah. So you definitely want to consider that. That's a great intro animation that's easy to do. So another thing that we started to kind of work on today, I made a homemade or from scratch end cap for YouTube. Now, what I'm about to show you now, if you guys want to see how to do an end cap from scratch, I can show you how to do that, and some ideas you may want to think about as it concerns that. Now, what I'm going to be showing you with that, you do need Pro for that because you'll be extracting the background from a video in the example that I made earlier today. Yeah, so appreciate that. Thank you. And so that's one way to do it. Now, you can definitely do other kind of animations with a video background and then have things animated on the screen, like your logo spit on the screen, things like that. Now, my logo that I made, I didn't make it in Canva. You mean like my Bradley Teaches Memoji head dude? I made that somewhere else and I customized that myself. I don't even sure if I have copies of that in here because I usually do like different facial expressions and all kinds of stuff like that. So I have this guy here, right? I made this in another app, but I can definitely animate it here in Canva. So if you do like a memoji or something like that, or some graphic that you made in some other app, you can definitely bring it into Canva and do different things with it, right? So I can animate it. Now, I can't make the eyes blink and stuff like that, but actually I could if I had a closed eye that I made in my other app and I can overlay it, make it show up and close, which I've done before in other apps. And that might be something we can explore in the next video when I come on live, is how to animate something like this, like make him wink, make his mouth move, things like that. We can explore those things here in Canva if that's something you guys want to look at. But I did not make this graphic in Canva. I actually have a bunch of different facial expressions that I made for myself, for my thumbnails and things like that. So that's something that I built for myself. Make an end cap with a solar theme. Okay, I sell solar panels. Okay, let's see if there's a video for solar panel. Go solar panel or solar energy. What does that look like? That's cool. That's different. What are these things doing? Yeah. Because I'm guessing you do more solar panels for homes, like this kind of look, is my guess, right? And so that's a little different there. Here's another version of it. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's do that one. So we're going to do this. We're going to make an end cap piece. So we're going to go here, and we're going to use the animated background for it. This looks like it's about 8 seconds, which is good. I'm digging that. You want to, for an end cap on YouTube, you want to go in that maybe 5 to 10 second range. 8 seconds is good. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to text, add a heading, and we're going to say thanks for watching, or whatever text you would like it to say, something like that. So let me see if I can find some digital looking text. Let's see. That's pretty cool. Looks kind of futuristic. Kick that up to 150 maybe. That's a little big, but we'll see. Come on today, dude. There we go. Thanks for watching. All right. And that's centered. A little too big, but I'm gonna knock it down some. And we'll change the color here in a second. We're just doing the layout right now. So thanks for watching. That's what's gonna pop up at the end of your video. We're now gonna add some elements, and I'm gonna type in 16 by 9 because on YouTube, your video is gonna probably be a widescreen video. So you want to have a graphic. It doesn't really matter. So, we got a frame here, and I'm going to make it smaller because it's still proportional to 16 by 9. So we're going to do I'm going to do it similar to what I had before. And now I'm going to look up, let's go here. So we're going to have the kind of watch this video next kind of prompt, right? And so I'm going to go back to videos. And let's see if we can find construction worker pointing. So we can find a construction worker pointing at something. He's pointing straight ahead. And everybody's pointing straight ahead when they point over at something. So I'm going to use something different for this one then. So I'm just going to use pointing because all these guys are pointing at me all straight out. They're not pointing at what I want them to. But it would have been cool to have a construction worker pointing. Now you can probably find that on some stock site. Because what I want him to do is actually point at. But that's pretty cool too. He's kind of construction worker-esque, right? So I'm going to go to edit video and go remove background. So what I want him to do is I want this guy to actually point at the video, right, and say, watch this next, right? So you come here. Now I don't want him pointing down, so it kind of ends there, right? So that's what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to change his video to stop there, like pointing like that. Yeah, at the end of your YouTube video, you can add end caps. That's a feature of adding the video in YouTube. Your video ends at a certain amount of time, and you can add an extra piece at the end. It can be a video or whatever else. It can be static. but it's a little end cap that actually tells people to do something. So you can have a generic blank screen and you can say, okay, put these 2 videos on it, a suggested video that they should watch next, or even a suggested playlist that they can continue to watch. But you can also do an animation like this. Now in this area, you would put the little video screen that you add in YouTube, and it's at the end of the file. And so when you add that, you can say, add a suggested video, and a video will pop up that you pick, and you put it in that spot. And then you can do, actually, you can also have a subscribe button, which will be your profile picture. So it'll be round. So I would go here back to elements, and I'd put in circle. Right, so I do that. And that would be your subscribe button. So that can be here. You can even have it show up later, because all these elements can show up kind of as you want them to, even in YouTube, which is kind of cool. So you can have this animation show up later and then have your subscribe button show up on top of it. So we're going to have the guy, thanks for watching. And then let's add an arrow. Let's add an animated arrow. Now this is all kind of quick and dirty here, but it's just something I want you to think about as you're kind of working on different designs, right? See all. No, I don't want that. That's pretty cool because it's kind of mechanical, right? Like solar panel-esque. So we're going to do that. We're going to make it go up. Now, what you want to make sure you do, though, is that you don't make anything cover up what's going to be what you're going to use for YouTube. Because when you add, this is all going to be in the background on YouTube. So when you add your video windows and things like that, that's going to cover up this. Everything's going to be considered a background. So you don't want to do anything like, I don't want this arrow to be over that, like, oh, it's 3-dimensional. Because when I add that video in YouTube, this is going to disappear. So you want to make sure of that. Hello, Christine from the Philippines. Awesome. So for you, Christine, it's probably, I'm guessing, about 11, is getting close to 11 o'clock for you in the Philippines, a.m. Thursday morning. That's my guess. Something like that. So pretty cool. That's why I'm doing this at this time of night for the international audience and for those night owls that's here in the States with me. As I see Tammy's from Boise, Idaho. Welcome, welcome. All right. So going through this real quick, you can also add text that says, watch this next. That pointing guy, I'm going to do a different pointing guy. Go back to video, pointing. He's okay, but that's hilarious. Okay, let's use that one just for the sake of doing it. All right, so edit video, background remover. Oh, that's too short for that. So we'll fix that. We're going to speed up the finger animation. See, that's why you know those things. All right. So we're going to go here. We're going to go to position. We're going to go to the finger animation. We're going to right click on it, show timing. And we're going to, there we go. I think I put it inside that by accident. There we go. All right. That is hilarious. Right, so you can do that kind of stuff, which is pretty fun. So you can do all kinds of different things like that, right? So then you have your, I'll put this on the bottom. Now I would think through this some more for a final design, right? This is kind of getting to levels of cheese that I don't really endorse myself, right? But you set up your different windows here. You can have that moving background. And then at the end of your video, this would show up. You would place a video here, and it would actually entice people to watch your next video. So that's the reason that you would do that, right? And so, yeah, but it's like all the little different things you can do. Yes, I'm not personally into a lot of cheese. I don't do a lot of cheesy kind of things, but you know, it it has its place, right? You know, even this guy, have him pointing at your window, right? And so you can do little different things like that instead of just having little animations and then have the word watch this next, right? So I copy that. So we want to keep the same font, we just make it smaller. So it's still kind of fitting with the scheme that you're using, right? Because you can have suggested next video, watch this next. Because you get to pick the video that you want them to watch next, that you want to promote. So it's really, especially if it's within, I'm having clicker problems. This is live, y'all. That's how it works live. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna let it do what it's doing. It's want to act up on me tonight. We're gonna let it act up. Pick a different color for that because you want to be able to see it. Okay, so you can have watch this next, have your subscribe button here. And so you're telling the audience, right, watch this video next, do those different things like that. So it's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Now, as you see here, that's going to be a moving video in the background while that's doing that, right? So you got your other video here. Your first video is ending and you're saying, watch this video next. And I just realized that I'm covering up the arrows myself. Just so you can see the arrows. I wouldn't put them there because I don't want them in that spot. I would want them down here, which is behind my picture. But you have all those different things show up right now. As we did before, you can have a lot of this animation play and then have those other elements show up, just like we were talking before, right? Go here, right click on it, go to show timing, open that up, and we can have watch this next and the arrow for watch this next come on later on in the video. So you're sitting there talking, right? And you can work on this timing in YouTube. Then it says watch this next, and then the arrow pops up. So you can have all that kind of stuff go on. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Intros, verbal intros are different than intro animations. An intro animation, I wouldn't have it any longer than 3 to 5 seconds. So that golf thing we did earlier, I'd play that really fast or have it play while you're on the screen with it, or maybe even talking like I'm doing now. So that'd be playing behind me, and that'd be like your kind of intro to your video. The end cap is a little different. It's gonna go about 10 seconds, and as your video wraps up, this will already be on the screen. So you can have a secondary screen, and this would be you in your video wrapping up. This one would be the next suggested video to watch. So you can do it multiple ways like that. Or you could even do, not have this video there at all. And now the thing about it, you could do something like this, have it plain, and then have your video over here as a big screen. So there's multiple ways to do that. Yes, but for verbal intros and exits, you want to have those locked in where you're not babbling, as you say, a long time, talking to people without getting into the content of why they're watching your video. So, all right. So that is an end cap. Now, let's do a couple of just video graphics. Now, like you see at the bottom of my screen right here, that's kind of a lower third style graphic. lower thirds, it doesn't really matter what the graphic is. Lower third means anything that's in the lower third of the screen. It's not necessarily a certain thing, it's a placement of a thing. So it becomes a lower third. Now, most people, when they say lower third, they're talking about a graphic that has your name and title in it, different stuff like that. Now, personally, I use what I'm using right now for this live stream. It's called Ecamm. It's Mac only, and I can do all kinds of cool stuff with it, add things to it, show things off, do different stuff like that. Now, I use an application to make my graphic you see under my screen right here that could export transparent background videos. And even in the pro version, Canva can't do that. All the videos have to have backgrounds. But the program I'm using now called Ecamm, it can allow you to use green screen. So one thing that you can do, you can make different graphics and animations. I'm going to go over here to elements. I'm going to type in square, and I'm going to grab the square here. I'm actually looking for the square that has 6 clicker points on it. I don't see any squares with 6 clicker points. Okay, so we're just going to make us a square animation. Yeah, I don't see any squares with 6 clicker points, because what I want to do is use the square to make a rectangle. But I have this little thing right here. We're going to use this as our graphic. All right, so if I was doing this and I wanted to make a lower third, I have my placement locked in, things like that. Typically what I would do is I would go over here to my uploads folder. I would pull what I call my secret weapon graphic. And my secret weapon graphic is basically a photo, a screen capture I took of me in my video environment, so I can design my graphics for my video and know exactly how they're gonna look when I put them into my video. So I don't have a lot of back and forth. I'm not messing with it a lot. I'm not trying to tweak the size and, oh, that blue doesn't work or that green doesn't work. This is the way to do that, by just doing a screen capture of yourself in your video environment with your lighting and your backdrop and all that stuff, and you know pretty much exactly how that graphic is going to look because you're using your secret weapon graphic as your backdrop. So with this, I have my button here, and obviously that's not my brand colors, but I can go here because this is using the colors of that. But I'm gonna keep it blue. And I'm going to add text to it. And I'm just going to go here, add some text. And I'm going to say, Bradley teaches. And this is all just quick and dirty just to show you guys the idea of it, right? So I have my graphic here. I can animate this. That's cool. I'll do that little animation. And so that's my lower third, right? Now, because Canva cannot export transparent background videos, I would delete my secret weapon graphic and I'd make the background of this slide green. Now, that also prevents me from using green and things that have a lot of green in it in my animation, because they would disappear when I add them to my video editor and extract the green screen. But let me show you something else you can do. It's not perfect, but it is a pretty decent kind of workaround for making animated elements where you don't have to worry about a transparent background. So in this case, I have my lower third here, and essentially it's a little rectangle, right? So what I'm gonna do now, instead of using this as my button, I'm gonna use my whole screen as my button. But how I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go to resize. I'm gonna resize this. Let's make it 500 by 170. I'm just guessing. And I'm gonna go to resize. Okay, so now I have kind of a wide button kind of look shape right? And I can do all my graphics inside of this space, all my animations. But when I export this, I'm going to export it as an MP4 without a transparent background. But my video is going to be this shape. So when I add this to my video editor or my live stream app, which I'm going to do here live, it's going to be a transparent background graphic that's animated. So let's show you real quick. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to blow this up really big. I'm going to go to 70. 70 might be too big. Let's see. It's close though. All right. Yep, 70 is way too big. Let's knock that down. There we go. Bradley teaches. All right. And it deleted. There we go. All right. There we go. Bradley teaches. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a couple of animations. So let's do, I'm just going to add a paint animation. Well, let's add that light bulb just for the sake of doing it. So we got our light bulb here, and I'm going to make my name a little bit smaller. Because I have great ideas, right? Okay, so we got Bradley teaches. We're going to add a animation to this. I like that. That's a cool animation. We're going to make the background. Let's go back over here. We're going to make the background a fade. That's cool. And we got the light bulb going, and we got that's going to animate. Going to make it 2 different colors. Okay, so I got my button. I got all the stuff going. So we're good to go, right? And that's cool. It's about 6 seconds long. Cool for a button. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share this. I'm going to go to more. Oh, let me go back. Share, download, MP4, download. Now, what's great about this, as I said, this is going to be a rectangular shaped MP4 movie. But I'm going to add it to my live stream here live and show you that it can be a button in a live stream, and you don't have to worry about transparency for the background. Now, the downside to this is that all the things that you do this way have to be a tall rectangle or a wide rectangle or a square, right? It couldn't be a circle because when you export it, all videos have square edges. There's no round videos on export anyway, right? So it's going to have to be some kind of square-edged kind of thing. So that's a downside, but it's not necessarily a huge deal breaker. So let's go back here, and I'm going to go to my downloads folder, open in the Finder, and check this out. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to add it to my scene as an overlay. And now let me go back to me. Let me add that again. And there it is, right? So now I have my animated button here, and I'll slide it over here. And in my app that I'm using right now, I can have it loop. So let's play it again. So as you see here, so now that's like a lower third, right? All the animations are in it. Everything works. And I didn't have to worry about doing a transparent background. Now the downside of it is, as I said, it has to be rectangular but you can resize and do all kinds of things, right? So now think about little videos. If I had even a video background on my button, I could do that. If I wanted to take the background behind a person and have them doing something inside of a button shape, it's going to have a solid background, but you can do all those different things. So when you start thinking about it, you can now make all these little custom graphics as long as they're a rectangle, either tall or wide or a square. And you can add these now to your video if you have a live streaming app like I use, right? So you have all these pop-up graphics. It can have information in it about something you're doing. It can be a sidebar animation, so it can be tall and animating on the side. So all these things can be made in Canva without a green screen and without exporting with a transparent background for your video editing apps. So that's something that's really cool that you want to explore, making those types of things. So I definitely want you to explore that and kind of think about different things that you can make in those button shapes to then be able to add to your video editor or your live streaming app. So hopefully that was helpful and that got you kind of thinking about some things you could do. And we're about to wrap up, so let me see if we have any more questions. Yeah, the green screen, and I'm not using, right now, Ecamm has that feature. iMovie has that feature, and I'm a Mac guy, so excuse me for naming all these Apple apps. iMovie has that option, which is a video editor. Premiere has that option, still another Apple app or Mac app. Keynote can make those kind of graphics. But Ecamm, which is my video live streaming app that I'm using right here now, it's Mac only. It has a green screen function. So you can add any kind of overlay to Ecamm and take away the green screen. It's in the beta version right now, and I get to use the beta. I'm part of the beta group. So it'll be launched soon. And that's going to be right on time as I go through these tutorials with you all. As you start to make your graphics, you can now start doing them with a green background and bring them into apps like Ecamm, extract the background out, and get the kind of look that you have like this, right? So I could have made this in Canva, the little animation at the bottom, and then have the document or the sheet or whatever they call it, the page that they call it in Canva, be green. Then I just bring it into this app here and take the green out. Yeah, and like I said, I'm a Mac guy, so most of the apps I'm ever going to be talking about are Mac compatible or like Canva, universal for both. So it's going to be something like Canva that I find is probably universal or Mac. So that's kind of where I am. I don't know many PC apps anymore. I hadn't used a PC in a long time. All right, y'all. So if there's no more questions, I think I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. This is my first day of doing these doubles. So hopefully you guys enjoy these. Please, please, please stay tuned for more tutorials as we go down the road here. If you have video graphics questions or specific things you're working on, I want to help you work on the things you're working on. I want to bowl down your alley, so to speak, and help you complete the projects you're working on. So if you have those kind of things, you can jump into the Canva design community, use the hashtag Bradley Teaches, and ask me the questions. I'll add them to the queue for the next tutorial. You can ask them in the comment stream in YouTube or my other group, and I'll add them to the tutorial because I want to do things that you guys are working on. If you're working on projects that you're getting kind of hung up with, send me a DM. I'd love to bring it into the tutorial and work through the project you're working on. I want to do real life things that you guys can use, which hopefully I showed you some of that tonight, and earlier today. So I hope you enjoyed that, y'all. I had a good time. I hope y'all had a good time. So until next time, I'm Bradley of Bradley Teaches. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Keep on creating, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace, y'all.